Right, here we are. We're going to have a look at some algebraic fractions. But before we start with the algebra side of things, let's just look at how we do basic fractions. And remember, the first thing we do is we look for a common denominator. So let's see what both 3 and 7 go into. And they both go into 21. Helps to remind us, if you're stuck on algebra, just think what you do with numbers. So in this case, we have to times the 3 by the 7 to get 21. We times the 1 by 7 to get 7. And we have to times the 7 by 3 to get 21. So we times the 3 by 3 to get 9. And then we have them over the same thing, and then we can add them together. So we get 7 plus 9 is 16 over 21, and we look and see if we can cancel. And we can't. So that is our answer. So now let's look at an algebraic fraction. Here we go. We've got 1 over x minus 3 plus 3 over x plus 1. So let's do the same thing. Let's get common denominators. Now, are there any common factors? Can we factorize? Always a good thing to do to start off with is look for factors. Well, there aren't any. So how do we find out what these both go into? Well, we know if we times that by that, we find a number they go into. So let's times x minus 3 by x plus 1. So we need to times the top times x plus 1. And then we're going to do the same over here. We need to times x plus 1 by x minus 3 on the bottom. So we're going to times the top by x minus 3. And so we have a common denominator. And we multiply that out, so that gives me x plus 1. And we can multiply this out, and that gives me 3x minus 9. Combine this together, x plus 3x is 4x. 1 minus 9 is minus 8 over x minus 3. And I can see that I can factorize the top. Always a good idea to take out all the factors, because then you can see clearly if there's anything to cancel down. Because the only thing you can cancel down are factors, and there are no factors here, so there's nothing we can cancel down. We can't just go, oh, there's an x there, there's an x there, there's an x there. I see students do that, and then they end up with something like, I don't know, minus 4 minus 8 over minus 3 times 1, and get something like minus 4 over minus 3, that's 4/3. Well, what happened to all the x's? They can't cancel down. It's clearly not correct. And when you get your final answer, put a number into it, get an answer out, check if the same number up here gives you the same answer. So here we are, something a little bit more interesting. First thing we need to do, as I said before, is look for factors. And here we can see a factor of 2. Always take out all your factors. It will save you time in the long run. So factorize the bottom. We've got an x and an x. To get x squared, we need two numbers that multiply to give you 3, and they must add to give me minus 4. So minus 3 and minus 1. Minus 1 times x and minus 3 times x gives me minus 3x, and minus x gives me minus 4x. And what we see is we have common factors, x minus 3 and x minus 3 on the bottom. So we don't need to times this one by x minus 3 because we already have it, and we don't need to times this one by x minus 3 because we already have it. We just need to times this one by x minus 1 from over there, and just need to times this one by 2. So let's do that. Let's times this one by x minus 1. So I've times top and bottom by x minus 1. And over here I'm going to times top and bottom by 2, because I don't have that 2. So I need to get it on the bottom to get a common denominator. Now I have a common denominator. Now we can add these two together, and I suggest that you don't multiply it out, just take them away to start off with, because often students make a mistake when they do two things at once, and I'll explain why in a minute. So we just write it all out, subtracting the top this value from this value to get this. Now let's multiply out 5x minus 5 minus 2 times x. Now this is where things tend to go wrong. So our students will write plus 4 here, but you've got this minus 2 times plus 2, so you get minus 4. And you're even more likely to make that mistake if they try and do two things at once. So do be careful. Very good students make this mistake all the time. So 5x minus 2x is 3x. Minus 5 minus 4 is minus 9. And then remember, always look for factors. Factorize out everything. And what we can see is we have a common factor, x minus 3 and x minus 3. So that looks a bit like a 1. Let's just put that into a bracket. Rub that out. Put a bracket. There we go. X minus 3 and x minus 3. So we can cancel those two out. And that just leaves us 3 over 2x minus 1. Is that any better than 3 over 2x minus 2? I don't really think it matters between these two answers. Either would be just as good. It all depends on how the question asks for your answer.